honor of Iron Man movie opening weekend, we both have done 6 shots of whiskey, read more Iron Man comics than anyone should ever read in one sitting, and will now bring you the best of Iron Man comics from 1980 to 1989. This could take a little while, you know, maybe I'm thinking hour and a half, probably as long as the movie, you know.
Probably as long as Tony Stark's mullet in the 80s.
Probably. But no, we won't do that to you. We'll keep that for a later date, you know. The Iron Man
that's what we're doing tonight. That's
that's clearly yeah, you know. But yeah, it's also Free Comic Book Day this weekend and the Iron Man movie, so lots of excitement in the comic world this week, and we have new comics for you, it being Wednesday and everything.
Yeah, big surprise.
Wednesday! So.
Alright, I think we're going to go ahead and start off this week with Age of Ultron, number 7. What is all this going on this cover here? This is Brandon Peterson instead of Brian Hitch? Everything is different. Everything has changed.
It's shiny.
After the shocking, oh so shocking events of last issue, the entire universe, the entire future even, has been changed. No more is Ultron ruling over everything. No, we have this new team of Defenders who are honestly like the coolest new superhero team that Marvel has put out in ages. And it's just weird Captain America, weird Cyclops, old Wolverine, Captain Marvel, Janet Van Dyne, Doctor Strange, Hulk, Thing, and Star-Lord. Because Star-Lord.
I mean, it's the Guardians of the Galaxy movies coming out, they ought to throw him in.
But more importantly, Cyclops only has one eye, just like in Age of Apocalypse. He only has one arm. He has a robot arm instead of the other one, just like Cable. This has just made Cyclops so much cooler than he has been since, like, you know, that time where he got a big red X across his face.
Yeah, no, this blows it away. He's got one giant shoulder pad, he's got yellow glove, and he's got a big gun. And he's got, like, you know, circuitry in his head and shit.
Pouches.
And pouches. Tons of pouches.
Attached to his shoulder pad, even.
That's right. So that's why we're talking about Age of Ultron here. The pouches. Also from Marvel this week, Thanos Rising. Thanos is being featured in the Free Comic Book Day Infinity book that's out this week. So get a little history on Thanos here with Jason Aaron and Simone Bianchi. With colors by Ives Forcina, who's doing the Thor book, who is excellent. But this has been really cool. I mean, I'm usually not a fan of, like, villain origin stories. I mean, he's villainous. I mean, what more do you need to know than that he, you know, worships death and kills things? I mean, do you really need to know more about that? But, you know, clearly we have discovered the reason why Thanos was so angry from such a young age. You know why?
Oh, yes.
Well, whereas Thor, he has circles on his chest, which makes sense. You know, it's like a fashion statement. Thanos, as a kid, he had circles on his butt. Why? I don't know. Maybe he, you know, maybe he needed extra padding on the toilet. I don't know, but that would make anybody angry enough to spend their entire life devoting themselves, destroying the universe in complete, you know, utter annihilation.
Multiple times over.
Multiple times over. Honestly, I mean, screw the Game of Thrones thing. Look at that. That's friggin' burly.
That's a way cooler throne.
That's way cooler. Yeah, and it comes with orbiting skull.
It has, like, Saturn behind it.
I know, right? So yeah, very cool, very fun. Kid Thor, or I mean, Kid Thanos.
Kid Thanos.
Strong face.
Young Thor. Kid Loki. You know.
Yeah, totally.
Right. And also for Marvel this week. Holy crap! 3 Marvel books in a row.
Oh my god.
Oh.
It's like we're getting paid to put, you know, promote Marvel or something.
Don't say anything to them.
Right. Don't let Joe Q know.
We've got Iron Man number 9 here, kicking off Kieran Gillen's new story in his ongoing Iron Man ongoing, you know,
right.
Called The Secret Origin of Tony Stark. I wonder what exactly this comic could be covering.
Maybe what you need to know before you see the Iron Man 3 movie?
Ooh, maybe.
Maybe.
But, you know, you love baby covers so much when Scotty Young was doing them. You needed a Greg Land baby cover. Look at this. Isn't it awesome?
Dude, there's like 10 of those things.
I know there are. But the interiors are all, it's beautiful Dale Eaglesham art. He has returned from whatever great comics journey he was on when he wasn't drawing this.
Yeah, he was doing Hulk. He was doing that Mayan thing, which was okay.
I don't know where he's been since then.
I don't know.
But the point is, he's back. It looks amazing. Death's Head has literally never looked this cool.
This book is finally readable. Like, I like Kieran Gillen, but Greg Land, I mean...
Just
It's just not happening, you know? But now with the illegal shim, and the first page starts out with, you know, aliens on a distant planet and stuff.
It's cool.
It's very cool.
Iron Man, aliens,
Yeah.
Death's Head.
Totally. Alright, taking a break from Marvel. A bit more intelligent on the high-end classy side. This is Mr. X by Dean Motter. Dean Motter created Mr. X in, I want to say, late 80s or so, and it had a really design-heavy vibe. Dean Motter is an amazing designer, writes, draws. The Hernandez brothers did some art for it, the Panda brothers, Seth, Jason, all sorts of people did work for him, because he's friggin' amazing. Mr. X is kind of this guy who keeps this weird, noir, retro, future city running. He's kind of the man behind the scenes. And this is a new series, kind of spinning out of the Dark Horse Presents stuff that came out, which they recently collected. And this is a new mini-series, written, drawn, designed, lettered, all that crap, by Dean Motter. So yeah, it looks really, really great. You know, I mean, this is definitely up there with, like, Nexus, stuff like that. I mean, this was big, big independent stuff in the 80s, so check it out. Very cool.
Right, and from DC, there's a new #1. This is The Movement. Based somewhat in the real-life Occupy movement, this is, you know, just taking a superhero look at issues of class and social justice and stuff like that. I mean, the point, though, is it's Gail Simone writing another Outlaw team book, because I don't know if you all read Secret Six here, but it was flawless. Amazing. One of the best things DC had going for them before the reboot.
Yeah.
It lasted, it started in like 2006 with Villains United.
Yeah.
Infinite Crisis, and ran pretty much in some form since then. They finally got their own ongoing, last about 30 issues before it was sadly lost in the reboot. One of the many titles.
More Outlaws.
More Outlaws. This is probably going to have a lot of the same grim humor and just kind of questionable people doing really questionable things. It's also got art by Freddie Williams II, who's been doing the Channel 52 backups in DC's books. Yes, he has. Which has basically just been updating everyone on the DC books that they may or may not be reading.
The DC hype.
Look also for the counterpart to this book, covering the 1%, the Green Team. The
Green Team.
Coming out in a bit, by Franco and Art Baltazar.
Yeah.
Which should be really, really fun.
Should be very cool. So. Another one from Marvel. There's a lot of Marvel this week.
Yes, there is.
But that's because it's Walter Simonson on his second issue with not only the Hulk, not only Frost Giants, but Hulk with Thor's hammer and Frost Giants and Thor all together.
I like this. I like the sound of this.
There's a lot of smashing. We talked about the first issue, and while most of it was pretty cool, there was, you know, I don't know, maybe there was too much talking. I don't know.
Too much science, not enough smashing.
Yeah, this, it just starts out, lots of smashing, very weird-looking squatty Hulk in his really dumb armor, but he's beating the crap out of stuff, and there's even this whole great part, like, I didn't know the armor changed size when he moved, and like other artists, it kind of, you know, makes it look like, I guess, like an Iron Man bodysuit, and here, you know, Walt Simonson, he doesn't have time for that. He has transcended that kind of crap, so he just erases Hulk's head and draws in Banner, and it's the same size. It's awesome! It's like the trench coat thing, you know? But, I mean, there's all sorts of crazy sound effects, some really, really cool panel with the Frost Giants.
It's got all of the Walt Simonson embellishments that you would expect.
No, I mean, and the man's, I don't even know how old at this point, doing this. It looks great. You know, it's fun, it's dumb, it's violent, it's the Hulk. And
it's also written by Mark Waid, so it's not as dumb as it seems.
Yeah, totally. I mean, if this was Bendis, you'd be having problems, but it's Mark Waid, so.
Right. We have also got Hawkeye #10, featuring a break from David Aj's art to showcase, of course, Francesco Francavilla, who we have gone on and on and on and on about his talents. Yes. Amazing noir stuff. Matt Fraction's still writing it. It's still gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be rad.
You have no reason not to be buying this.
And after what happened last issue, at the end of last issue,
God,
I mean, we need to remind you.
I'm getting flashbacks.
I won't spoil it just because in case any of you were late, but you need to know what happens, obviously. So, Hawkeye. I mean, look at that cover. It's a great cover.
It is a great cover.
It's a really good cover. And new from Image this week, the next big hot collector's item from Image, is J. Michael Straczynski and Ben Templesmith doing a book called 10 Grand, and this is about a man who is a hitman, and falls in love with a girl, decides to quit, takes one last job, manages to get both him and himself killed. I mean,
him and himself.
I mean, him and his girlfriend killed. I mean, what a way to, like, screw that up. Like, he goes to try to kill this guy, doesn't kill him, the guy comes back at him, kills his girl and him. And at that moment of death, an angel comes down and gives him a proposition where he will be reborn as a instrument of you know, angelic wrath or whatever it is, kind of like the Punisher back in the 90s, which we don't like to talk about.
I like to talk about it.
But he is reborn every time that he dies in a righteous cause, and in the 5 minutes of death, he gets to spend 5 minutes with his wife, or his girlfriend. And so he keeps dying over and over and over and over just to spend time with her. It's a weird premise. It was very long solicitation. It's not an easy thing to just, like, drop out there. But that's Straczynski for you. I mean, he's beyond that, like, you know, whatever. I mean,
and where does the $10,000 come in?
That's how much.
Is that how much money I'm getting if I buy a copy?
No,
of
no.
this?
Straczynski is counting that. He's counting that money because this is going to be a movie soon, I'm sure. But no, this is the beginning of Joe's Comics, which was a very short-lived imprint of Straczynski's stuff back in the early 2000s that he's trying to bring back through Image.
Oh.
So yeah, I mean, it's got, you know, art by Ben Templesmith, who did Fell, which will never finish. I'm just going to break that bubble right there. You will never get another issue of Fell ever. That's right. Be sad. So pick up 10 grand if you want more of that. 2 covers, one by Bill Sienkiewicz, one by Ben Templesmith. There you go.
And right over here, we've got the newest issue, issue 8 of Legends of the Dark Knight, featuring drumroll please, the great Tradmore on both the cover and a 10-page interior story. I think we've been waiting for this story in print, like me and Casey, for like since this series launched.
Yeah, seriously.
Look how bendy his limbs are here.
I told you, it's like a Busta Rhymes music video. He's coming at you all fisheye. You don't even know when he's gonna hit you in the face.
It's Tradmore bringing everything that he brings to Legend of Luther Strode to Batman, minus a little bit of blood. We can't do that in a DC book.
But you got foreheads.
You have
Bruce
huge foreheads.
Wayne has huge forehead.
And I guess there's also a story in here by some other schmucks, but
whatever, you know, it doesn't matter. Tradmore. And finishing it off this week, the King, Jack Kirby, Omnibus, Volume 2, collecting the odds and ends and the great and awesome and terrible Superpowers. Which, if you don't know, Superpowers was a toy line that they made comics out of. One was horrible, the other was just as bad, but Jack Kirby drew it. And it's the only time Jack Kirby ever drew Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, all of them in their big, chunky, squatty. You know, Wonder Woman had these like little sausage fingers, and she was all short.
It's so amazing, though. They all look like Marvel characters.
They do.
It's just like you have Batman like straight up leaping at someone, arms outstretched.
And look at Superman. He's like, buy the comic. Oh my God, you have to buy it.
He's actually yelling at you right there to buy this comic.
Look at Robin's cycle. That is badass. That blows away any Jim Lee 90s cycle.
And
That's chunky.
Joker's got his slippy grease.
I know.
Slippy grease, man.
And there's a bunch of other stuff. Oh, there's the Sandman in here, which is, you're messing stuff up.
I am. I'm ruining things. I'm just so excited about Jack Kirby, man.
I know. And this is not Neil Gaiman's Sandman. This is the real Sandman. This is like the cheesy 70s, where Groot and Glob came from Sandman that Jack Kirby did with Joe Simon. And that stuff has never been collected other than this, which is really awesome. So, and this is only $40. Look how big that is. If this was open, this would get the Smell Good of the Year, of the Week award.
It would, but we're keeping the smell in, just for you.
You gotta keep the Kirby smell together. It once you open it, it just erupts, and you know, the video would shatter, and giant spaceships would come forth, and everything would turn into those weird collages from the 70s that he did. But we will save you that. And, yeah, just as long as you buy this. And finishing off for the cover of the week, screw you, we just talked about it, this is what you need to buy, Tradmore. Look at Batman. Busta Rhymes Batman. Fisheye Batman. Cover of the week.
Enough said.
So yeah, once again, Saturday, we will be open at 10 a.m. So for everybody who wants to get their free comic on, not all comics are free. There are special free comics. Rules will be explained there. I know you want to just come in and just grab stuff,
but don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy. Thank you, Mr. Piven. So, and with that, we'll see you next week, and hopefully this weekend.